people, man. So I'm excited. So I appreciate you being here with me.
For
I know we got
sure.
some cool people in the chat. I already see it. And
Hmm.
and we got a wonderful guest on. I just really want to hear from this man. It's been a long time uh, since we've even talked to each other. Been probably a couple of months, almost a year, as far as
Okay.
talking and seeing each other. But he's a special person in my life and even in my career. When I look at high school and even college, so I just definitely want to make sure that we bring him up on the stage. But how you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. 51, that's a good thing, and proud of you, sir. And I'm expecting exponential growth going into this next 50. So when we do the 100 show, I'm expecting this thing to have grown exponentially.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you hanging in, and thank you for allowing me to hang out, man. Go along for the ride. So thank you.
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. But sometimes we got to do things, and people come in, and we definitely thank them. They come in and they in different situations. Normally, you're in the studio, in a house or wherever. I see you like out on the golf course. I'm sitting in my. But
In
at
my
the
mind,
but at
in
the
my
same
mind,
time,
that's where I
yeah.
am.
But at the
I'm
same
playing
time,
golf today.
I got you. Hey, ain't nothing wrong
Hmm.
with that. And I see Sharon Jackson, Nisi Jackson, Anthony My Time, Kamaria Jackson, all in the
Oh
chat.
wow.
So it's a family
Okay.
affair going on. Be better than
Yes.
Nightbot. But let's bring
Absolutely.
our guest up on the stage and and have him out here hanging with us. So let's get him up on the stage, and then we can kick off and keep going with the show. What do you think?
Okay, let's get it.
All right, let's see. Let's go. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Tony Kennedy, what's up, man?
All
What's up,
right.
fellas? How y'all doing?
All right,
Oh, we
sir. How
doing
you
well,
doing?
doing well. So how's things going out there? See you on the road?
Can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
you can't hear me.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Am I coming over to you?
I can hear you a little bit now. Yeah, it's breaking up
You
a
can
little
hear
bit.
me? Okay. Yeah, how y'all doing, man? I
We
had to
doing
switch
well. We
up a
doing
little
well.
bit, Bill. I had to go
Yeah.
pick somebody up.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I'm in a bad area. Can you hear me? Put your thumb
It's
up.
it's
Y'all
it's
can hear
breaking
me
up.
or
It's
not?
breaking up. It's breaking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look.
You said, hold on.
Hey,
Hey,
Tony.
you got the military messing with our signals, baby.
I got you. I got you. But look, when you get into a better location, just
Like
come back
this.
up on the stage.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Billy?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. But
Okay, you
can
can
you
hear
hear
me
us?
now. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was just saying, man, we in a bad area. Had to go, it's Sunday. We had to go do something for a friend, and get all that done. You know how it is, running around, getting
Yeah,
stuff
I got
done,
you.
man, living life.
I got you.
Yep.
So it's cool having you on the show today, and thank you for being the guest. And I know you sometimes you do got to do things, and you popped out and you said you was with a veteran, right?
Yeah, I'm with a veteran. He said he got three Purple Hearts. I,
Oh
I made a
wow,
mistake and said two. He
yeah,
said
don't
he
take
got
away,
three.
yeah, don't take away from
Wow.
his Purple Hearts. Wow, three Purple
Salute,
Hearts.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So not only is
Salute,
he a
bro.
vet, but he's definitely blessed to have three Purple Hearts and still
Three.
and you're
Wow.
right next to him. So that's good. And I being a veteran, I must salute him as well. I'm also a vet, but I know that he's at a higher level than me. So I thank you for his service. Definitely thank him for his service.
Yeah, he said thank you, man. Yeah, his name is Charles Eccleston. So you guys salute to my man.
All right, no problem, no problem. So
Yeah, Billy's former military, so
yeah, U.S. Army all the way, man. Tell you
U.S.
All
that.
the
Army.
way.
That's what he
Yeah,
is,
yeah, it
Army.
is. Yeah, U.S. Army. Yeah, so Tony, I know we got you on the show. We got you as a guest, and I see that you are moving around and doing your thing. But I'm glad that you was able to even come and I thank you for being here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, man, just living life. Running a CBD company. I run a also run a thing dealing with NIL that we do. I have a couple clients where I do their contracts for the NIL, and just starting to help them with wealth management. Um, my guys are going to be doing the wealth management side. I'm going to be doing the realism management, um, and making sure that they understand what the hell is going on. Because what we're not getting is we're not getting these guys doing the right things. Like, for instance, when you see the guys and you hear about them getting money in school, that's
Mhm.
great. But if they're not putting that money in a trust, or they got an
Right.
LLC set up, or they doing all that stuff, man, they're gonna be broken in what we were in college, because you know what happens when you get all that money. You got Uncle Sam is number one.
Number
Then
one.
if you got baby mama or whoever else, all the rest of that, that you're not making enough money, and then you talk about 3 4 years of that.
Mm,
If you don't take care of Sam, if you don't take care of everything else, what are you supposed to be doing?
right.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
good. Yeah, no, I got you. So I was going to ask you that. So, how do you feel about the players being paid in school? So, is that a good thing or is it?
It's a good thing if they got the proper management.
Mm,
What you're going to end up with is some players being broke and not getting their education,
mm,
because that money can lead you to not go to class.
right.
Money can lead you to chill and think it's going to be like that for the rest of your life.
Mm,
So you can be setting up some of these kids, uh, and that's the problem. My client got a 3.8 average, so he's gonna be all right. His parents are on his butt, but I'm trying to teach them, as this money start coming in, y'all can't start changing,
mm,
can't start being brand new. You better stick to what got you there.
right, right.
And you know, and I know, Billy, we ain't had two nickels to rub together. Now imagine if they would have been throwing 10,000 a week at us.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I know. Yeah. So for
You
those in the chat that don't know, and Walt, to say you there, Walt talked. Me and Tony Kennedy went to the same high school, so
Mm.
Tony was a year ahead of me. So probably one of the best running backs I've seen in the high school level, for sure. And I've only seen a little bit. I had to watch all his plays on film because I was his fullback, so I was blocking for him. So while I'm making a block, he's gone. He's gone down the field, and
Oh
so I
man.
missed a lot of what he did to get to what he did. So, but I saw it on the film, so he did a good job there. Yeah. So and then
Yeah, that was
Tony ended up.
back in
Go
the
ahead.
day.
Oh yeah, back in the day.
That was
Yeah.
back in the day, man. Yeah, we were a hell of a tandem. We just didn't have people in school that want to play ball, Bill.
I know.
I
I'm
mean, if
with
we would have had all the thugs wanting to play football, we'd have been doing something. And people had to understand, football is big here now, but football wasn't big back then.
you. Right. Right.
Everybody wanted to be a daggone basketball player.
Right. Right.
If we would have had football players, the guys that were walking around the building playing, we would have been in the playoffs every year, Bill.
Oh yeah. Nah, look, I'm not gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue that point. We had some real good players that was out there, but like you said, there was a whole lot more walking the hallways that would have did a much better job if we'd have got them on that field. So yeah, yeah. So Tony, tell us a little bit about your company, the RX Sports. What is that? What's going on with that? Can you not hear us? So it's
So it's for pain management for players, uh, seniors, all people. Our stuff is is the best product. It's prescription grade strength, and it's the best product on the market.
mm,
We're just getting people just starting to find out about us. We got the best doctors on our staff. I mean, it works.
mm,
And when
okay.
something works, it's just getting it out to everybody, man. We just signed Daryl Green, board of advisors. So for the sports side, getting people on the sports side is our number one thing right now, because you got to think about it, it's all natural, plant based. So it's not working your liver, your kidney, or your stomach. So as we get older, we're taking all these meds. Our liver, kidney, or stomach, those are the three that's going to go. Well, our stuff doesn't work that, and we kill pain. And now I'm getting into it where we kill pain, and we're going to start making it smell good. So yeah, man, our stuff is, we have that product, and that's just the topical. The tinctures under your tongue helps with anxiety, depression, sleep, energy. We have it all, man. We have it all.
Okay. All right. So now, wait a minute. Now, is this something that's going to bother me at my job? I mean, I got a decent job. I don't want to lose my job taking your medicine. So can I get through drug testing and things like that as far as with the medicine?
Okay, so let's go through that. CBD, okay, CBD is here, and cannabis is here. Okay, so they're cousins. So cannabis, which y'all smoke, cannabis is high in THC, low in CBD. CBD is high in CBD, right? And low in THC. So the hemp plant is high in CBD and low in THC. So what we've done is take all the THC out and use the hemp plant to solve all the problems which to go. So no, you won't get in trouble with your job because our stuff have 0% THC, and that's what they test for.
Right. All right. But and I guess you're saying it's definitely good on pain. So if I was in pain, this is a good product for me to help relieve some of that pain and even stress and anxiety and everything else is what you're telling me. Yeah.
Depression, all that stuff, man. Information, all that stuff, man. The hemp plant. So we on Sunday, so we little Christians. The hemp plant was used by Jesus to heal people. So that's what we're actually using is is hemp plant.
Mm,
We don't use the cannabis.
right.
So I mean, it's confusing because they made it that way because Big Pharma didn't want us to actually be healed. They just wanted us to keep buying their crap, which has been killing us for years. So now we're in this thing. We're in it for the win, man. It's going to be pretty good, Billy. We went to the Olympics trying to get them to get it testing so we can start giving it to the Olympic athletes because it's going pretty soon. It's going to be a competitive advantage.
Okay. All right. Hey, Walt, you have anything you want to
Yeah.
add?
So
Or?
hey Tony, what's happening, man? Quick question for
What's
you.
going on, brother?
You got it, bro. So look, couple questions on the CBD side. First, I'm looking at your site, man, rxsports.net, rxsports.net for our listeners. And can you explain to me the different tinctures between the energizing terpenes and the sedating terpenes? Explain that to me, please. How they work differently.
Okay, the sedating turbines are usually, so the difference is, one of the big differences, one helps you with insomnia,
Okay.
and the other in the morning to get you going. Um,
Okay. Got you.
one of now both help with inflammation,
Okay.
um, but they also both work on anxiety, and which is, I didn't know that was so big. I didn't know people had crazy anxiety issues
Hmm.
going on. And also focus.
Hmm.
Some people have problem focusing. What I've known since I've started taking them, you know, my focus and how should I say, I'm a little bit more chill with people and understanding, and it helps you with that.
Okay.
It is amazing, man. When you truly get stuff from the plant, it is really amazing because all that stuff we've been taking, man, it's been killing
Right.
us.
Be killing us. So I appreciate you sharing that. And then on the other side, on your NIL side, I appreciate you. You probably the first person I've heard who is in favor of NIL, but who's also given the rest of the story, meaning just because you get the money doesn't mean you're prepared to get the money. And now these guys are in a situation where before, when you and Big Jack were in college, and in high school and college, you guys had the 4 years of college of paying your dues before you had a chance to get to money. Now these guys are getting the money 4 years earlier in the maturation process. The maturation level of maturation may not be ready to receive that. So man, I'm glad that you actually said that out loud, because a lot of people just think, oh man, it's getting this money and it's great. It's like hitting the lottery, man. If you're not prepared, if you don't have the tools to manage it, you can have a problem. So I'm glad to hear someone say that and give the whole and paint the whole picture, man. So shout out to you for that, man. I salute you for that.
So the difference is that when you see all this money coming in, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is people see money coming in, and the first thing they do is put their hand out and see how
Right.
much they can make instead of taking care of the athlete. See, I've been doing the stuff. I've been doing the stuff without the profit, so I'm
Mm.
not here for
Right.
just the profit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here for the player, and that's what a lot of people aren't doing. They're not there for the player or the family. They're there to make money. Period. They there to make money. Now you just look at them as just a business, then yeah, you just there.
Right.
I don't do anything that I do. Nothing I do is just for profit or just to make money. That's not what I
Mm-hmm.
do. You got to have the heart and soul for what you're doing. If you don't have the heart and soul for what you're doing, then don't do it. Well,
Right.
I mean, I won't be a billionaire, so you
Right.
know, because I won't do stuff just to do it for money. I've never
Mm-hmm.
done that in my life, and I'm 55 years old. I'm not gonna start doing that now.
Right. Money alone will not sustain you, man. I mean, eventually, the money by itself will never sustain a
Never.
person. Yeah, never, because it won't fulfill you. It won't fulfill you. I mean, and stuff is definitely won't fulfill you. So the more stuff you can buy, and not really just helping people, it will not sustain you. But it's hard to say that to a person who doesn't have the money that they're looking for. So
Yep.
it's kind of like a catch 22, man. So shout out to you for that, man, because a lot of people don't say that out loud.
Yeah.
Basically they pitch them a story and sell them a dream, and get paid in the process, man. So I salute
Yeah,
you
they
for that.
don't want to say that out loud. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
we got you. And there was someone that put, well, not someone, but Kamaria Jackson put in the chat that everyone should familiarize yourself with your employees' drug and alcohol policies. Only because of the fact is, regardless, because that is your employee, and they all have different policies.
Hmm.
And so, even though we know and we're hearing from Tony that the product is safe, but if you did look at the product and the link is in the chat, if you look at the product, just take it to them and make sure and verify, because that's the
Yeah,
way to
I
protect
tell
yourself.
everybody to uh, verify, but you just look at what they test for. What they test for? They
Right,
test
right,
for
right.
Right,
THC,
And that's the whole thing.
and
So,
and, and
right.
they test. Put it like this. Let me tell y'all something. So here's how you can find out if anything is legal in what you're doing. Take it take it and put it in your carry-on and go to an airport called Reagan National and try to get through that airport with your carry-on.
Right.
If you can't get through it with your carry-on, it's not legal.
yeah.
If you
Mhm.
can get through it with your carry-on, it's legal. Believe me. You go to Reagan National with something illegal, them people are putting you in a federal jail.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look,
Did
I'm
y'all
sure.
know?
I'm
Did
sure
you
there's
know
another way.
it's the
No.
only airport that every pilot that flies into the airport has to do extra training to fly into that airport?
Mhm.
Okay.
Because if you veer off at that airport, you can say bye bye.
Oh yeah, well that's true.
Okay,
That part is true.
so
You can't go outside that no fly zone
and,
at
and,
all.
and guess what? So I had my bag, and so I'm going through TSA, and so they made them all of us line up, and I was like, man, what's going on? So they had the doggy, and the doggy had to follow you for like 10, 15 yards, and then he'd come back. And so he had to do it to each individual person. So the
Mm.
dog followed everybody for about 10, 15 yards. Well, that dog followed me for like 25, 30 yards.
No.
And he looked, and I looked at the dog, and I just kept walking, and he came back. The other TSA agent, when I came to check through, he said, man, that dog took a liking to you. Let me see what's in your bag. So they
Mm.
had to strip search, do all this, and go through my bag. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And they went through it and had their people come, and they said, oh, we sorry, Miss Kennedy, go ahead.
Mm.
And
Mm.
he must have smelled some of the whatever that's in our stuff. He
Right.
must have really smelled it, which was a good sign to me because the dog picked up that I had a whole lot of stuff that was, plant based. I
Right.
Right.
think bombs or whatever has something that's dealing with whatever that's in the ground or whatever. He smelled something. He
Mm.
was on me, and they double checked, and it was fine.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. But look, hey, tough. I hear you, but I ain't trying to miss my flight playing around and see if your stuff is legal. There's other ways.
Hey man, that's what you got to do for safety, baby.
There's other ways to do it. So, but no, and I truly thank you. So again, we take the way it is, like you say, we dropped your link in there so people can then check you out and check out your product for sure. I truly thank you for talking to us about the, even like I say, the NIL deals and things like
Mm.
that, because it's huge and it's different. When I remember when we were in school, you couldn't have a job, you couldn't have anything and be on scholarship, and to have these players now actually making, I mean, real money. They're making real money,
Real money.
so they're life changing checks coming into them. So all of that is definitely different than when, of course, when we was in school. But I have a kid that's in high school, so and he's a decent athlete. So I could see eventually maybe getting to that position that he'll go to school. Not saying NIL or anything like that, but this is
Get
going
that
to
paper.
school. But at the same time, you need to learn and know about what's out there and all the different things that's going on. And even with your product, because if you got a player that's in there using a product and for pain, and something was to happen, they're going to test. Like you said, you're dealing with the Olympics, you're dealing with NFL players, dealing with boxers and things like that. So a lot of drug testing is being done. And if
Good.
your product is getting through, which is a good thing because they're all saying, hey, this is a good product and it's making it. So,
And what you just said, Bill, you guys, I I don't mind all of that because I tell everybody, go consult a doctor. Look
Right.
and on our site, you see our site got the testing, our
Yes.
site got everything that's in it.
Yes.
We don't hide anything.
No.
Listen, when we went to ACSM, American College of Sports Medicine.
Medicine.
We went to the biggest one in the world. And the woman from the Olympics looked out and looked around and she looked at me and she's like, well, y'all the only CBD company here. And I said something to her that it probably will stay with her forever. I said, those people aren't coming because they're afraid of being exposed. I said, we're here for exposure. And
mm,
she looked at me and just like, they can't be that stupid
Yeah, be that
because
stupid, right?
everybody walking around this joint is had a PhD or
Hmm.
researching or whatever. You can't fool 10,000 people. You may fool 500, but you can't fool 10,000 people walking around the place.
no,
And
no.
I know our product is the best on the market, basically because of the people who've tried it. We haven't paid nobody to use it. And people will come back to you and say, thank you for this because it's saving their life.
Mm,
When you go in there and pull up Jerry Cox, the military guy who was taking 13 meds, and now he takes our sedating, and he takes our sedating 5 drops, 8 drops a day, and he doesn't take the 13 meds that they had him on for PTSD and
mm,
depression and all that other stuff. Jerry will tell you that his life was on the down. It was bad, but
mm,
he found us, and
right.
those are the type of things. I wouldn't be, my man Charles, you see, he's an advisor. Don't you think we're going after those VA contracts? If we dirty, we wouldn't be going after no VA
VA
contracts.
contracts,
What we
Right.
right?
just going to ask to go get arrested? No,
Yeah, I got you. I
no.
got you.
We're
Right.
going after that because the veterans deserve better.
Right.
And we're going to make sure our old people deserve better. Everybody, Generation X, all of us deserve better. You
Mm.
waking up in the morning feeling all like that? Nah, buddy.
Hey,
You get our attentions. That's gonna get that daggone information out that body.
right. Look, Tony. So I mean, and the thing is, I mean, we know for sure. We hear a lot about the snake oil that's being pushed on the market.
Yep,
So I mean, when people got that side eye, they looking at you with the side eye. It's only because I've heard this pitch so many other times before. It's like
yep.
what makes yours any different than the thousands that's out there? So can I go into CVS and Walgreens and find your product? Can I go and get this off the shelf?
Oh hell no, you're not getting our stuff off the shelf there. You know why you're not getting it off the shelf? Is because I'm tired of people making them rich. So, guys, when our parents and grandparents used to sell Mary Kay and Avon, okay? Now those were MLMs. You had to go grab somebody else to sell. Just think of Mary Kay without the MLM, multi-level marketing, and now think of McDonald's. So you will own your area. So what we're going to do is on the top side, we're going to make sure that everybody knows who RX Sports is. But when they go to the website to get it, if I lived in Frederick, I'm gonna look it up and be like, oh, Billy Jackson's the only one out here with it. It ain't at your Walgreens. It ain't at your CVS. I want people to get rich. I don't want corporations to get rich. Now, when we do it with the military, it's going to be in the VA. We do it with Virginia Tech, it's going to be in there with their bookstore or with their team. Other than that, you ain't going to be able to get in these places. We're not putting it on the thing like that because I don't want them to get rich. I want the average person to get rich. I want that person here that's working hard, that parent that got kids. She knows everybody. Well, now she knows everybody. Now she's running her own business. She done started this little LLC. She's running it through her LLC. She probably making $5, $6, $7,000 a week without paying stuff that's legal. That's the best on the market. Why make CVS rich when you can help the average person get rich? Remember, I'm not in this stuff to make money only. I'm in here to help people. And you can help people with pain. And you can also help people in the pocket. Pain and in the pocket.
I got you. All right. I hear you. I hear you. Look, the idea sounds great. And I'm
Absolutely.
listening to exactly what you're saying. And there's so many things I could do and be joking around with you, but I don't even want to do that. I'm gonna leave it alone. Cause I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll talk to you off the channel. But but go ahead, Walter. See like you got something on your mind.
So if I'm a person interested in learning more about your product and as far as being a rep, what do I need to do?
Hit the affiliate program on our site.
Okay. Okay.
And I would tell people when you go to affiliate program, I would tell people do not do the stuff personally. You need to get an LLC, file it through your LLC so you
Okay.
have write-offs. Because most people, your kids are gone, all that stuff is gone.
Right.
You need to start having some write-offs. You need to start having so every time you and Billy go online or y'all go to do
Mhm.
whatever, you writing all this stuff off.
Right.
Y'all need some write-offs, man. You need to start thinking that way. And
Mhm.
then, if I really want to keep talking to you, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
telling you, make sure all you got your stuff in the trust. Don't have your
Right.
stuff out here. Don't be butt naked. Because when the lawsuit man come, they gonna come and slap a lien on everything you own. Well,
Right.
lawsuit man can't come if all your stuff is in the trust.
Trust. Right.
You gonna look at them and be like, well, what they doing? You ain't never heard about no Kennedy losing money, have you? Or Rockefeller. You ain't never
That's
heard
good.
them losing money.
That's good information.
No,
Absolutely.
that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So if you out there in the chat and you watching this and you are interested in the product itself or even getting involved with Tony and his company, the link is down in the chat, and you are definitely more welcome to check it out yourself. if we want to know more about the NIL, and I know Tony, like say, he's pushing that product. He's done so many different things trying to help the youth. So the one thing for sure, I can tell you he's sincere in what he's trying to do, and he's trying to educate and elevate kids, get them past that, because of really what happened when we were playing, like high school level, even college level. There really wasn't anyone talking to us about educating us on the things that, as far as our finances and looking out for yourself and putting things to the side. There just wasn't anyone sharing that information, not to me anyway. So
So Billy, when you go down that lane, see, on my Facebook thing, it says visionary leader. So Billy, I was a year ahead of Billy, and I've never really discussed this with him. When I was in 8th grade, they pushed me to DeMatha. I told them no because of Pat Murphy. So when I was in 10th grade, after they saw my year of varsity, second team all county and everything as a sophomore, oh man, you need to go to DeMatha. And I'm starting to get people to come in. He in 9th grade, I'm 10th grade. I'm starting to get people the first time come in 15, 20 years to our school for football. And I had a decision to make, and I'll never forget it. End of my 10th grade year was this time in June, and it was right when Lynn Biles died. And I'll never forget it. And I said to myself, and I was working with the people over there at DeMatha, and I said to myself, if I can go over there and follow a whole bunch of people, or I can stay here at Blade and be the first one in almost 20 years to get a scholarship. I said, you know what? Knowing me, I said, I'm going to stay right here. Now, I would have won some WCAC championships, would have done all that, but that's short term. When you think of the long term and the vision and everything, and then when it got so much that I had to take certain visits to certain schools, so I would keep them coming in for not only Billy's class, but the classes behind them and the classes behind them. See, when you start off and you're trying to do something, everybody's a naysayer. Right. Everybody's like, oh, you can't do it.
Can't do it.
Was it courageous? Because back then, Bladensburg wasn't known. We didn't have any of that stuff. We didn't know what the SAT and all that other stuff was. So I was a guinea pig. I took it. But because I was committed to being that guy, the first one, I said, it always got to be a first one. And would I do it? Yeah, I do it the same way again. Because in life, it helped me out in life. Because in life, don't nobody give you anything. Yeah. You got to go out there and you got to work and sometimes you got to go on faith and be that visionary. Just like when I did with this. When I bought the company, everybody's like, oh, God, oh, he a salesman. No, 4 months later, they came and offered me 1.5, and I had no contracts. So if it was worth 1.5 14 months ago, imagine what it's worth now. So I just look at people, man, and I laugh because some people just don't have the vision, and I just have to be the person, a bigger person, and just be like, look, I can't call it hating. I'm just going to start calling it short-sightedness. Right. They just couldn't see what I could see.
Couldn't see what you can see. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's real. That's true on both ends, man. It's true that that's the case. And a lot of times people will project their fears on you, and that's all projection on their part. But the fact that, you can, hey man, documentation beats conversation any day. You can show them better than you can tell them. And they have to see for themselves, and then you say, I told you so, because they'll see it. It'll be all man, I can't believe I remember when he was talking about it, So,
hey,
most success stories go that way.
You the old school parent junk. I can show you better than that.
I can tell you, you better know it. Some people don't believe fat meat's greasy, right? So that's what it is, man. That's what it is, Jack.
And the thing is, there's a whole lot of companies that's out there that you say, I wish I would have gotten into when I first heard it. Netflix or Amazon. Or Amazon, all of those ones when they first came out, and it was like Yeah, that ain't gonna never
It'll
work.
never
Nobody
work.
want to get a movie in the mail, or nobody want
Yeah.
the packages. And now it's like, man, you couldn't touch that stock if you tried
Hey,
to.
hey, Bill, I want to you mentioned Netflix. I use that all the time. In 2000, when Netflix went into Blockbuster and said, "Hey, guys, we want to sell. We allow you guys should buy us out." They laughed at them,
Mhm.
and they laughed at them. And years later, what
Oh yeah,
happened?
But that's
oh
what
yeah,
What
happened
happened?
to
We
that
don't
also
even know
happened
who
to Kodak.
Blockbuster is.
yeah.
That also happened to Kodak when they came up with the digital, when people came up with the digital camera.
Yep.
And the Kodak employee was like, "Hey, look, this digital camera thing is going to be the wave," and Kodak couldn't see it, man. So this is going to take you back. I know you guys old enough to know this one, to one of the old 70s movies, The Mac. You gotta have vision. You got to have vision.
Gotta
You know
have
what I
Love that
vision.
mean?
movie.
You gotta
Hey,
have vision, man. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so as you know now, I've been pushing for years. Everybody need to be driving electric cars, and
Mm,
everybody look at me like I'm crazy. They telling
mm.
me I'm crazy. Well, I tell you what. Last night Trump just dropped a bomb on some people,
Guess
and
what's
when your
coming?
gas go to $8 to $12 a gallon, I bet you gonna wish you had a hybrid or electric then, because what's about to happen,
Yeah.
you gonna be at their mercy. You better get. We in an electric car right here. See that?
Mhm.
We're in electric. You can go shut up all the power. We got solar. We gonna charge. And guys, adapt or die. In 5 to 6 years, there's going to be more charging stations than gas stations.
Yes.
What is that telling you? That's
Yes.
telling you hybrid, plug in, or electric. You better get on the ball, because these banks are going to be cutting all these ICE vehicles. They're going to be cutting the price on them because they can't sell them for what they need to be selling them for. So all that money you done paid for, it ain't going to be in that car no more. Hybrid or electric.
Mm.
Now, we can talk about hydro later on, but you at least got to go to hybrid or electric.
Yeah. Well, right now,
Yeah.
I'm sure, and you're right. I mean, the big push is for electric. Everything to be electrified and this and that and that. And a lot of people are finding out that that's a good idea, and I'm not going to go against it at all, because I mean we are electric, but at the same time, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for a lot of people because I don't have it. I don't have the investment. I couldn't even make the investment to go electric or get an electric vehicle or the hookup for my
You know, you
house
know,
and all of
you
that.
know, you know, it's cheaper, right?
Yeah, well,
You know the prices. And remember, you remember this? You remember, guys? We used to watch TV on them big TVs,
oh yeah,
and one guy told me in Waldorf, we took it. Brian Farmer took his TV over there. This was like 1998. I never forget it. And he was in a TV repair store, and I said, "How long you been here?" He said, "We've been here 40 years." And I said, "Oh man, you're gonna be able to pass this down to your kids and your grandkids." He said, "No, I'm not." He said, "What I seen that's coming," he said, "you pretty soon in the future, you're not gonna be able to have to come here for me to fix your TV. It's gonna be cheaper for you to buy another TV."
Buy another
He said
television.
this in
Yeah.
1998, and I
Yeah.
looked at him and I was like, "Man, he owned this
Yeah.
place all these years." That guy saw the future. He
yeah,
Yeah.
knew that his butt. And when you go there now, it's some kind of sub shop now. There ain't no damn TV
Yeah.
repair shop. He was right
Yeah.
26, 25 years ago.
right.
He was
Yeah.
right.
No, no, good.
I got a buddy, man, an older guy that Jack, we play golf with him. He goes to the dump down in Southern Maryland, and he gets these TVs that people throw away. He might change a board for $20. You know what I mean? I mean, just a
Right,
board. I mean, just something as simple as that, because basically he, I mean, it's not as complicated as we think, but we don't mess with it. Hey,
right.
man, the ironic part is your father and I used to work for a TV rental company,
Oh yeah.
and we walk we used to do collections and repossessions actually. So man, the TV man was big as your car. You know what I mean? The floor model
Mm-hmm.
television was big as your car, and you go in there and somebody usually have another TV sitting on top of it if it
Mm,
didn't work right,
right.
and you would need 2 or 3 people. Man, I just went up to my closet the other day to get a 60 inch, and I came down the stairs with it under one arm.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
told my wife, I said, there was a time if I had a TV this big, I'd have to call somebody over there to help me carry this thing
Okay,
down
yeah,
the steps.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
I
and
remember those days.
even my first flat screen I still have was a Sony, and that thing is heavier than the box of bricks, man. Compared to what's happening now, and that
Right.
that
No,
TV's probably 20 years old.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I am not. I
maybe more
understand.
than that.
We're getting
Yeah,
smaller and more.
yeah.
Smarter, smaller, less expensive. I mean, 'cause I can remember the first VCR. They were charging so much
Oh
for
yeah,
that dang VCR, and it's
yeah,
like now you can. I mean, they almost give them away. They do. You buy
yeah.
the TV, you get the VCR. Nobody
But
using
Tony,
them anymore, so it has to go.
but Tony, you are right, man. Like Jack, you saying what people can't afford, but once the technology grabs you, you can't afford not to. And
Yeah.
that's what happens. So
You
as
you
we go on,
you can't
once the
afford.
technology, it's like call waiting and call forwarding and all that, man. People thought it was rude. Why would I do that? Yada yada yada. But once you get
Mhm.
call ID, once you won't even pick the phone up now unless you can identify who's
Oh
calling.
no, heck no,
So
no.
once the technology grabs you, it's like you can't go back, man. You can't go back. I mean, I'm 61, so I got you guys by a few years, but I remember, man, the cell phone and and the Nextels and all that, and airtime was super expensive.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
And
you remember when the cell phones looked like you was called in a
oh man,
strike
yeah.
in
So my
Vietnam?
first one, my
When
first
you
one was
like
the
this
brick.
at the
Yeah,
Oh,
end,
it came in a
I
they
bag.
had the
had,
little
Yeah,
joint like
yeah.
that.
I had the brick. I had the Motorola brick, and
Oh
then they
yeah.
made a smaller brick. And man, that's the thing, man. And then here's another thing. I'm old enough to remember when Bill Gates said one day everyone will have a computer on their desk at work, and people were like, "Why would I need a computer on my desk?" Tony Kennedy's got the computer. He's our computer guy. And now, like you say, man, it's just like it's just the technology is amazing, man. And iPhone. You talking about multi-level marketing? I was part of a multi-level marketing deal 10, 12 years ago before the iPhone came out, and they had a video phone. And I remember catching flack from them because it was a voice over internet protocol. It was VoIP. And you had to hook into the internet and yada, yada, yada. And I caught hell from them because I'm like, Apple's coming out with an iPhone. Like, well, you can see this thing right on your phone. And they told me I was crazy. And then here we are with iPhone, what, 16,
Yeah,
18? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
so all
yeah,
that stuff that we're talking about right now, and it's 2025.
yeah.
This stuff right here, once you save, it can be 21, 25. People gonna be looking at this and be like, man, what?
Yeah,
Look how far they are right there. Because
yeah.
everything is gonna be right here in your face, like the Matrix. And they're gonna be like, look at that old technology.
I mean, the
Man, that's
Jetsons. Think
awful.
about the Jetsons. Think about the
Yeah.
Jetsons. The Jetsons is FaceTime, and that's all it is, man. I mean,
That's all it was.
and when you look at Mission Impossible and all these other movies, anything that you could conceive in a movie is
Imagine.
already in real is already happening.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already happening.
I remember when they were talking about satellite, what we know now is Google Earth. I remember hearing people talk on one of the talk shows back in the 80s, man. They already got satellites, man. They could take a dime and put it in the desert and tell you whether it's heads or tails, right? And
Right.
Yep.
of course, nobody could conceive that. And now the technology we have available to us as citizens, just imagine what the military has has access to. So, like
Yeah,
you
but
say,
we're
man,
gonna be
you
like
gotta
this.
think fast. Yeah,
Because we don't know if they
yeah.
following Charles. Charles be inside the bubble. He be in the bubble with the
Oh, we don't
presidents
want
and
no
all
trouble
them.
for Charles,
We're gonna be
man.
like this.
Hey Charles, we
Yeah.
don't want no smoke for you, bro. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like the technology, man. So if you don't see it, if you project your fears on everybody, if you don't have vision, if you don't think outside of your surroundings, you'll never see it. You'll never see it, man. And that's a hard thing to convince people of when you're struggling to get from one day to the next. It's hard to convince people that these things can be their reality, man. And
Yeah.
we all struggle with that, So.
Yeah, and again, I'm seeing a good comment in the chat came from Kamaria Jackson, but and I want to say hello to Jovel. She said hello to us all from Korea, the Philippines. I'm about to say
Oh,
Korea,
wow.
from the
Okay.
Philippines. So hello, Jovel, and thanks for coming on. But Kamaria Jackson said we need an electric grid to support But that isn't, it's not enough time for. But
Hmm.
basically, the supply and the demand, and then that's the
It's
big
coming.
thing. So,
Well,
It's
uh,
coming.
tell them here's where we start listening to all that stuff. Here's the thing. I had one person tell me, and he said he thought he was right. He said, well, if the electricity go out, how are you going to drive your car? I said, if the electricity go out, how are you going to drive your car?
How you
He
gonna
said,
pump the
because
gas? Yeah.
most people don't realize those pumps are
Electric.
ran from electricity. But
Yes.
here's the thing. If the grid get cut tonight for 30 days, only the people with electric cars will be driving because we can go to the solar source and we will be able to charge. Most people who got solar, they got solar backup and they can charge and go. What I'm telling people is more people are getting solar, more people are getting solar backup, more people are becoming energy independent from all that crap that's there. That's the old way of looking at it. Now, if you're listening to us old heads, you young people, don't argue with us. Go and put your money in everything that makes up the electric vehicle. Put your money in everything that makes up the charging station. And when you our age, you'll be a billionaire.
But I think they already see it. I think it's our generation that doesn't see it.
mm,
You know what I mean? I think the younger generation already sees it. But if you really want to have some fun, my Wi-Fi was out. The storm was what, Friday night, Thursday, Friday
yeah,
night.
okay,
My Wi-Fi was out for about 24 hours. So I had no Wi-Fi. I had no Xfinity TV, yada yada. No, whatever game, whatever night the game was on, because it went out right in the middle of the game.
Oh shit.
So anyway, so my wife was going nuts, right? But the thing is, man, if you really, really, really want to see what our threshold for discomfort is, and especially as you talked about this conversation going into our current political situation, hey man, we can't make it without Wi-Fi, electricity for a week. So just imagine, so you're right, man. I mean, and whatever you're dependent on, that's your weakest point. So you
yeah,
need to
yeah, that's the
know
thing.
where your blind spots are
And
because
and
whatever
the,
you
and the
are
and the point
experiencing,
being
that's
made
your
with
weakest.
that, and I'm
Yeah.
with you on what the point
Mhm.
being made with that is, you still know, and that's just business. There's a supply, demand and supply and
Absolutely.
demand,
Mhm.
and the more you put on the grid, the less. And it's not, if it can't hold it, if you can't supply the what's needed, then something's going to
One
go.
one
Something's going to
hundred
go.
percent, one hundred
Yeah.
percent. But you got to think, there's a reason. Even when you talk about gas and you think about coal, you know, Uh, I mean, coal is a thing of the past, right? But some people are holding on to it. But coal, man, I mean, when you think about compared to natural gas, it's a different deal. So
Right.
again, man, it's like every generation figures their situation was the best because that's what works. We're comfortable, and that's what happens. But like you say, Tony, man, you got to see it. You got to see it. And I mean,
You
10
got
years ago, 10 years ago, we would have cut you off. Not necessarily us, but anybody you're talking to about electric cars would have cut you off before you even got into the conversation. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. They would have just cut you short. Oh man, that'd never happen. It's kind of like the 8 track and the cassette. Oh man,
mm-hmm.
why would I get a cassette, man? The 8 track just plays continuously, man. Why would I want a cassette? I got to keep turning the damn thing over. So just little stuff like that, man, and people don't see it. So
Yeah.
so that's a
Yeah.
blind spot that we've always had as Americans, man. We as citizens, just people in general, any country, I guess, they
And,
get into what works for them, and that's what works for me, and this is the
and,
way it
and
is. And I'm gonna do
you
this for
know
the
what the
next 50
best
years.
you know what the best saying is?
Hmm.
Adapt or die.
Or
I
die.
always say
That's a
that.
fact. That's a fact.
Adapt or
That's a
die.
fact.
If you
That's
don't
100%.
adapt, you will die.
You will die. I mean, here's the thing: you're gonna die anyway, so you might as well adapt and be comfortable because we all are
Yep.
out of here anyway, right? I mean, we all
Yep.
gonna pack it up and go at some point.
Right.
So why not? And that's the thing, man. So live in the situation that you're in, make the best of that, and embrace the technology because at the end of the day, what you resist only persists, man. And there's thousands of stories. Everybody has a story about, man, if I had just done this, I could have done that. I would have been,
Yep.
if I could have lived the life I didn't want to, then I could be living the life I wanted to live now. And we all got that story, man. So, I'm with you
No,
100%. Yeah,
no,
100%.
no. So, hey, look, Tony, I know I had talked to you earlier, and I know you said you're going to catch the game. I think
Yep.
it's game 7. So it's
Absolutely.
winner. This is adapt or die right here for sure.
This
So
is adaptive
you're
die.
gonna
Hey,
figure, you
this
gonna
is
figure it out.
die.
Yeah,
That's
this is,
right, Tony.
Hey, this is do or die, man.
that's it.
You
That's
better
it.
be you better be on it. Yeah, my boy, shout out to my boy Keith Gatlin. He has Wiggins who's in the game, played at Maryland. He's out at game 7. He's actually gonna be sending me some film here soon for the introduction because he's out there courtside at game 7. Him and his son. He was flown out and put up in the hotel and treated right. Keith Gatlin deserved that, man. He deserved that. He's been helping kids. He's been doing a great job. Shout out to them. Shout out to them brothers, man. I just hope it's a great game. Hope it's a great game tonight. I'm gonna take you back. I remember every game 7 of the NBA Finals because I remember what was it, about 46 years ago, we sat on 47 years ago, we sat on the game 7 that we loved. Same organization, but they moved from Seattle to Oklahoma when the Bullets went way out there and won it on June 7th, 1978. They
Yeah.
went in there and won it on the road. And to win a game 7 on the road back then was big time. So,
Went to that
I'm a
parade.
historian.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you back to all kinds of stuff now. You 61. Now I'm gonna take you. I'll take you back
I
now
was at the
because
parade when they
I remember all the stuff.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So the one person you'll never hear talk about a game 7 is who?
Michael Jordan.
My man. What's a game 7? Michael Jordan said, "What is a game 7?" They
Yeah,
had game 7?
yeah. He only had one in the Eastern Conference Finals,
There
but
you go.
in
Yeah.
the finals he
That
never
finals
played
never.
a game
Yeah.
7.
They
Right.
handled their business. Yeah. What's a game
Yeah.
7? Yeah, that
Yeah,
right
he
there is
handled
one of those quotes, man. Like game 7.
handled
What's a
business.
game 7?
What
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
that's good.
So,
But Tony, man, we thank you, man, for being on here and
Tony,
hanging out
man,
with us.
salute you, bro.
We got all your we got your links down in the chat, and definitely I'll be reaching out to you. I know you said you was be going to the Pro Bowl soon, heading out to Canton.
No, we're going to the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame, yeah. I apologize. Yeah, Pro Bowl, Hall
Yep.
of Fame, yeah, Hall of Fame in Canton, yeah. So
There's a whole bunch
what's
of
up.
Pro Bowlers in there.
Right. Yeah. You're right. A whole bunch of them out there. Yeah. So, but thank you, and continue to do great things with the kids and the youth that's coming up. We definitely wish you well with your product as a maybe consumer and at the same time maybe a provider. But so all of that's going in the right direction. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that all this stuff happens because the good Lord allowed it to happen. Okay, so we need to give thanks to that. He's allowed me to put in the people and help people with the stuff that I'm doing. And when you lose track of that or you lose sight of that, that's when you lose it. So, as we're talking, having fun, man, dude, if this game wasn't on, we can sit here for 3-4 hours.
Oh yeah.
Because I can sit here and talk about sports and go on and just love it. But I like to thank you guys, man. I wish you well on your show.
Salute, man.
Hit me anytime. If you want to hit me from the Hall of Fame, I can have Darryl Green on. I can have Calvin Johnson on. I can have anybody on to come and be like, hey, guys, be like, what's up? And people just coming past us. I can go live when we're at our party. Gotcha. Hit me anytime, man. I'm here, man.
No, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that, Tony. Thank you. Go ahead, Walt.
Salute to Charles, man, the 3-time Purple Heart.
Purple Heart,
yeah, man. They salute him. They tell him we salute him for that, man, and thanks for his service, man.
I will. I'm going here and make sure he all right. I gotta go. I'm being chauffeur.
I got you today. All right, man. All right, but I appreciate it, and thank you, Tony. We're gonna pull you off the stage, man. But thanks for coming up here with us.
Take care, bro.
All right,
peace, man. Yes, sir. Be safe.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, Walt. Yeah. What's up?
Hey, man. So you were his fullback, huh?
Yeah. So when we was in high school, he even said it. I was a year ahead of him.
Yeah.
Well, he was a year ahead of me.
You were behind him, right?
And So and because we were in a small school, we were,
Mm-hmm.
we wasn't, we Bladensburg, we, hanging in there trying to get through,
Mm-hmm.
and having that type of, I would say, talent, really, because I wasn't. Maybe I told you in other shows, I wasn't from that area, so
Right.
it wasn't. It was because of the fire that I even got moved to that
Got over
area.
there.
So
Right. Right.
I didn't
Right.
know any of them. I didn't grow up with them. I didn't play in
Mm-hmm.
boys club with them and all of that. So when I got there, I just happened to be here he come. Who is this guy? And
Mm-hmm.
I came in there saying, all right, I'm gonna
Get a
play.
spot. Go on,
I'm
play.
gonna get
Yeah.
on. I'm gonna play. I don't know the coaches. I don't know the schools. I don't know the team.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is how to play this game, and I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't know how to do that.
I
But
had about to say,
yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
that. You
yeah,
didn't know
didn't
that
know
you
how to
didn't know
do
how to
that.
do that. Yeah.
I
My
just
bad.
I knew what I wanted, and I
Mm-hmm.
went out and did it. So to have a good tailback, I think a lot of it, without a doubt, made me a better fullback, because it was just,
Oh, for sure.
when people saw him running for, over 1,000 yards and this and that, and they were like, "Well, how did you couldn't
Right.
watch his film without watching my film?" So
Right.
it was
Right.
just,
Right. Right.
and so I definitely took my hat off to him because of that fact. And he
Mm-hmm.
could play basketball too. He was out there on that
Mm.
court, and he
Okay.
was tough out there as well, and running track fast. So
Cool.
he was a
So
big athlete.
he was a three-letter man at least, huh?
Yeah, but then like say,
Okay.
but it was just one of those. There was so many other players that we could talk about and say that got out, but the pay
Mm-hmm.
it forward was I'm gonna say started with either Tony, and then we had Brian Davis, another one. He was a
Mm-hmm.
basketball player, and then Doug Rome. So it was in that same year, three
Okay.
players came out in three different sports doing something that hadn't been done. Thurl Bailey went to Bladensburg,
Oh
so that
yeah,
was
that
like
was my era.
his
Yeah, he was yeah, ahead of me.
his big poster, or his
Yeah.
name up on the wall and all, and everybody knew, all right, Thurl Bailey. But
Mm-hmm.
then in that same year, that 1988 year, you had a guy go Division I in football, Division I in basketball, and Division I in baseball,
All
and
out
that
of
was like,
Bladensburg.
yeah, yeah, all out of
Wow.
Bladensburg, and that was
Okay.
like unheard of for the school. But it
Mm-hmm.
opened up so many doors
Sure, sure,
for
sure.
the next row.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Tony barely mentioned it, but he was talking about how he took visits so that to get those
Right.
schools to come.
Schools
So
to
when
come.
I came
Right.
through, I did the same thing. I went and took visits at places that I had no intentions of going,
So
but
they would come
that
back
was
to
your
grab
first
somebody.
time, and it was so the
Right.
next group. And then so like I said, we had a guy go to basketball in '88. Brian Davis ended up going to Duke University. He played in
Mm-hmm.
the national championship, played with Christian Laettner and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Kennedy went to Virginia Tech, and then Doug Rome went to Maryland University in baseball. So those are
Okay.
three Division Is. And then the very next year, I was able to go to Virginia Tech. The year after me, we had a wide receiver who come through, and he ended up going to Nebraska. So it's like
Wow.
the now it's not just local anymore. It's starting to spread out some,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty cool because of the fact that that the doors are now open, and now
Right.
people are starting to see that school. You actually putting the school on the map, and
Yeah.
people are now saying, "Hey, that's just what's up." So I mean, that's what it's all about. So you have to, I don't say pay it forward, but now when you was doing it, and we had a good coach as far as telling us to, he was teaching us the outside, the I gotta say the
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because again, you get on the field, you do your job, you get in the classroom, do your job, and then let us handle the rest of it, because you could get caught up in trying to get, and that's what happens with a lot of, I think, parents. They're trying to get their kids somewhere that they might not be ready for. They might not be,
Right.
they're not going to be D1, and it
Right.
takes a special, uh, it does. It takes a special player to get to that level, and definitely
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to the pros. That's a
Oh
whole
man.
nother level.
I mean, if you just do the math, if you just do the math and think of the probabilities of just from Pop Warner and to D1 and then the NFL or NBA. I mean, and that's why, if you look at Prince George's County as far as it relates to basketball, especially football too, because I had Kevin Glover was in my era. my man Daryl Grimes, Cornell Gowdy, all those guys ended up going to the NFL. But
Mm,
as far as basketball goes, right now everybody just knows Kevin Durant. He's in the news today because I think he just got traded.
mm,
But there's a show, a television show, a documentary. I think it's called In the Water, and they talk about how Prince George's County has basically produced all these basketball players. So all these basketball players have come out of Prince George's County because their program is so strong. And
right.
so like you say, man, and each generation makes it easy for the next generation. Len Bias was a year behind me in junior high school. And man, he mentioned Len Bias earlier, man. I mean, he was a phenom, man. I mean, you think
Oh yeah.
about we mentioned Michael Jordan, I
Hmm.
would, you say what if I would have
Right.
loved to see Len Bias and Michael Jordan go head to head in
Uh,
college. That would that
when
was
it,
just
yeah, and they did
yeah,
play each other in college because
yeah,
one
but
was
I
at
mean like
Carolina.
but
Yeah.
and was at Maryland, but I mean just to see them go to the NBA
Oh yeah.
and do their thing as men, as professionals.
Right.
I mean, like we'll never, unfortunately, we never get to see that. But here we are still talking about Len Bias. But
To
his
this
death
day.
wasn't in vain, man, because he taught his death taught society a valuable lesson.
Right. No, I'm
So
with you.
yeah, man,
So
it's all part of life, man.
there's Frederick Jackson is down in the chat and he makes a comment saying Prince George's County had plenty of great athletes. So
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
100% not speaking against, I like to say PG County, Maryland, but PG County had a lot of great athletes. And we get to say we talk about Len Bias and this and that.
Yeah.
We were saying more at Bladensburg High School. It had been
Hmm.
a while since anybody came through.
Hmm.
I mean, we
Hmm.
watched a lot of players on other schools going to what we call the show or
Yeah.
going to the dance,
Yeah.
going to this and that. And because we were so close to DeMatha, a lot
Yeah.
of
Right
people
down the
was
street.
getting snagged and snatched up and
Hmm.
they didn't make it to Bladensburg because DeMatha was right around the corner. So you could live in our area and it wasn't such a hard commute for parents to get their kids to DeMatha when you was right there. So no, you're and Fred is and thank you for being in here. But look, I know it's Game 7. I know
Yes.
I want to see it just like anyone else. So we're not going to drag. I don't say we never dragging the show
Drag it
on,
on,
but
but I
we're
understand.
not. It's
Yeah.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I watched the who was it, LSU win the college World Series, I guess, for
Mm.
baseball. So they
Hmm.
won that today. So we had that
Okay.
today, and then now it's Game 7 in the NBA basketball. So it's an opportunity to see another championship in in
Mm.
the same day. So it's like it's very. And matter of fact, I watched one in golf as well. So it's like this
Yeah.
championship day. So pretty cool. So but with all that, Walt, I thank you for hanging out with
Hey,
us
man.
today. And
Always a pleasure, sir.
yeah, man.
Always a
So,
pleasure.
and look, without a doubt, and and for those who were watching the show, and especially the beginning of the interview, just to make everyone aware that we know we had a guest, and things had changed on him, and he had to, he called us from a car. When we talked to Tony earlier, and we asked him to stop, asked him to move from the driver's seat to the passenger seat so he could do the interview. And he did apply. So he was not driving. He was not unsafe. We made sure that he was safe. I just want to put that out there for anyone who thought that he was not. He became the passenger, and I appreciate him doing that part.
Absolutely.
And maybe in the near future we can get him back and have him sit down where he's in a more controlled environment and not moving around and jumping. But other than that, man, I thought we had a good show. I thank you all. Tune in this Wednesday. We're going to have a super special show. Not even going to throw it out there and hint what's going
Yeah.
on. But I'm looking forward to Wednesday's show. So Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, we'll be back here on the Iron Shopping and Iron Show. But Walt,
Hey, bro.
till Wednesday.
Who do you like tonight? Who do you like tonight? Let's get that on the record right now.
On the record, I got to go with Oklahoma.
Okay.
OKC.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
I just got to go with them. I think they got a better team, and I'm looking forward to either way it's a win.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna make any money on either one of them.
Right.
Excuse me, but
because you can't go to the online and bet a quarter on a game. That's your limit, right? That's your max.
But you already know. I already told you how to do it.
I
I go in
recall,
there and I bet on both.
you bet on both. That's right. That's right. That's right. You bet on both. You hedge your bets, my man. That's right. That's
So
right.
because of that, and the way the odds are, I'm not gonna make any money. So
Right.
win or lose, it's just it. So I'm just not gonna mess with this one.
That's the gambler's prayer.
Yeah,
Dear
that's
Lord, let
it.
me break even. I need the money. That's the gambler's prayer. You get
Yeah,
to
but when
gamble and not lose, that's a win. That's
yeah,
a win. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And I thank B in the background dropping those links.
Absolutely,
And thank
B.
you, B. But she did put up the We Be Jamming Live coming up June 28th, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
And then, like I say, we all, get ready for that. So it's gonna be a busy last weekend of this month. So, but well, enjoy the game.
Hey, bro, I will. And enjoy your week, man. And it's going to be hot, hot, hot. So if you're on the
Yeah,
East Coast, make sure you hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And if you don't want to get out in the heat, especially between 10 and 2, I appreciate you because that means I got the golf course to myself.
to
So
yourself. There you go.
thank you for that, sir.
Yeah.
The heat is not a problem for me.
I see that one comment before we get off of here. Captain Johnson or Ed Johnson, I just say Baltimore City has some great athletes.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
without
out
a
of
doubt.
Dunbar.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
And the
not.
first one is Muggsy Bogues that comes to mind, but they've had a before and after Muggsy for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
100%.
So with all that being said, man, we'll go ahead and pop off of here, and we have a good
Okay, enjoy.
good night. Watch the game. I know it's already on,
Yes.
and be talking with you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, bro.
All right.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
all for coming out. All right.
Be
Talk to y'all later.
safe. All righty.
All right.
Peace.